Okay, I think we are ready to roll. So, Talia, if someone comes in, make sure you let them in the room. Now, what I wanted to talk about specifically is finding deals. How are you going to create deal flow into your business? Now, this is an important function of your business, because you can do everything else right, but without a deal, you have nothing. Actually, the return on investment on deals you don't do will always be zero. And so, you can do everything right. You can do the branding part. You can build up your Instagram. You can have like 100,000 followers, and everybody just wants to give you money. And you can do all of these things. But at the end of the day, if you don't have deals, you have nothing. And so that's why I wanted to bring this subject to this mastermind. How to find deals. And we'll talk about that, and we'll get into how we would use Realtor.ca to look for deals. So we're going to start there. Realtor.ca. Of course, you got to get really good at using this website. So you go on there, you want to be specific, and in just a moment we'll jump on here and we'll go through the exercise of just like searching around. How would an investor look for particular deals? The Realtor.ca, there's specific ways that you have to. I want you to learn how to do. So at the very beginning, I simply just want you to email. I want you to email and get info. Okay? And then I want you to underwrite. Now, when I say underwriting, of course, a lot of you guys are going through the coaching with Talia here. And underwriting simply means you get all of the information, and now you make sense of it based on your investor formula and your investor criteria. That's what underwriting means. And so you're going to go on Realtor.ca, you're going to look at a few properties, you're going to email the realtor, you're going to get this information back, and then you're going to make sense on whether or not this deal makes sense. Does it have the proper cash flow? Is it, is there capital expenditures? Have you added property management? And so that's underwriting, and you can know a little bit more about that through the coaching with Talia. But the next step is calls. Now, this is an important function of your business. This is how you are going to build up deal flow. So every conversation you're going to have with an agent. Now, at the very beginning, your real estate IQ hasn't been developed to the point where you can actually identify true deals. And at the very beginning of your career, you're actually going to be just looking at it, at as much as you can, right? You're going to talk to as many people as you can. And so what you want to do is start building relationships with some of these agents where, number one, they understand that you are an investor. Number two, they understand the criteria of the deals that you're looking for. And before you hang up any call, the words that come out of your mouth are extremely important. Hey, this deal looks interesting. I might be interested in this one, but here's my criteria on any other deals. So if you find anything that meets this criteria, why don't you send it my way? So now, let's say you're talking to 5 or 6 agents, or let's say 5 agents a week. That's like 20 agents now. And at some point, someone is going to find something that meets your criteria. And so what you want to do is develop deal flow. Next part, really important, the walkthroughs. Walkthroughs. What does this mean? You're literally now walking the property. You are walking the property, walking the property. What does this mean? Are you buying the property? No. Are you putting an offer in the property? No. You're just walking the property. You're doing a visit. You want to see what the property has to offer, what's how many rooms. Now here's a few things that happen when you do a proper walkthrough. When you do a walkthrough, first of all, you're gaining experience. I've done thousands of walkthroughs, and I've walked thousands of properties that I've never bought. But because I've walked so many properties, I built up an inventory of knowledge and understanding and context in my mind that now I can look at properties from across the country and buy these properties sight unseen, because I have a really good understanding and I have a high level of real estate IQ. And so that doesn't just happen. You don't wake up one day and have all this experience. The only way to get experience is by doing. And the best way to do is simply the walkthroughs. So when you're doing a walkthrough, the first thing that happens is that you gain experience. Well, it looks like the internet kind of cut off here. Let me see.
Recording here. In progress.
Yeah, something happened with the internet here. Give me just a moment. I'm going to change internet here. Can everybody see me? Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
I think so.
Okay, good. Thank you, guys.
Mute that.
This is very awkward.
Okay, good. Can everybody see me?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like the internet got cut off there for just a moment. So no worries.
Yeah.
Everybody's still okay?
Yes.
We're gonna survive. We're gonna survive the glitch, the great glitch of 2021. So okay, so everybody can go back to muting themselves. So walkthroughs, experience. That's number one. The more walkthroughs you do, the more experience you gain. The more walkthroughs you do, the more understanding you gain of how the mechanical room looks like. What do tenants look like? At the very beginning, and if you've ever, if you remember going back to when you first got your driver's license, you got in that vehicle, and you were very self-conscious, and you were worried about everything. Shoulder check, this, that, the other, and then now you do it. It's kind of like you drive, you don't even think about it, right? That's exactly the same way when you're looking at real estate. And at the very beginning of your career, you're going to be looking at things that don't even matter, but you're just so focused on everything, you don't even know where to look at. And then after you build up this experience, when you've looked at multiple deals, it's going to be just like driving, right? Now you learn how to look at the high level things, the things that matter. And so the only way to do this, walkthroughs. That's the only way, right? Getting that experience, getting out there. If you sit in a classroom and learn all about walkthroughs, you're not even going to come close to understanding what it's like to be in the field, feeling it, touching it, having tenants scream and yell, and this guy and that guy, hoarders. The first time you see a property with a hoarder, you're going to be like, oh my God. And then you'll realize, like, wait a minute, that's not that uncommon, right? And so you got to get used to it. Now, the other function of these walkthroughs is that the agent now sees you in the field. And so now you can make a connection with the agent, give him your business card, bam, and now you can talk about your criteria, and if there's any other deals in the future, why don't you reach out? Okay, so now this agent, you made this connection. He sees you in the field. You came. You dressed, professionally. You have a business card. This is why branding is important, because, they're gonna go check you out right after. The second you meet an agent, they're gonna check you out to see if you have the ability of transacting. And so the walkthroughs play multiple parts in creating deal flow, because if you're connecting with agents on the phone and you're talking to agents in the field, what you say actually improves every single time you make one of these interactions. And so the deal flow is important. Now, the next level is the private deals in the wholesalers, because we're not going to be pigeonholed to just realtor.ca. You actually want to connect with people outside of realtor.ca. And so you can go to FSBO sites. FSBO, for sale by owner, right? For sale by owner. This is like Purple Bricks or De Proprio on the Quebec side. You want to take advantage of people selling their properties privately, because you're not as affected to what's going on in the market, where there's a lack of inventory, and people are trying to everybody's fighting for the same properties because they can only go to realtor.ca. That's where everybody goes. But because properties are going up in value, people are like, whoa, I'm not going to give so much money to the realtor. I'm just going to keep that money. I'm going to sell the property privately. So FSBO websites like Del Proprio, you can go to even Kijiji. You have the ability of connecting with sellers, right? Connecting with sellers directly. And if you show that you know what you're doing, actually what's going to happen is you're going to build really good relationships, because if you're connecting with an investor, chances are they probably have other deals. And so even if that deal doesn't work out, you could say, if there's any other deals, is there anything interesting that kind of fits within my criteria, send it my way. Now you got private sellers sending you things, okay? Here's the next one, wholesalers. Wholesalers, okay? So wholesalers, this is a perfect opportunity to tap into. We talk about OPM, other people's money. We talk about OPC, other people's credit, but we don't really talk about other people's time. These are, if someone's a wholesaler, they're investing their time. They're going out there. They're hustling. They're putting out yellow letter campaigns. They're talking to private sellers. They're connecting with everyone. There's an opportunity to actually pick something up from a wholesaler and actually make a relationship with a real wholesaler. You give them your criteria, and maybe they can be in a position to go out there and find something specifically for you. And so this could be a really good source. You want to go privately, you can go to all these FSBO website, Kijiji, De Proprio, and actually don't forget about wholesalers. Now, of course, you need to know what a deal looks like. You're not going to just buy any deal from a wholesaler. You want to make sure that you understand your criteria, what you're looking for, and it needs to meet your criteria. And if it does, it does. Network, okay? So we're going to use your social media platforms. Your social media platforms, your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn. You want to create the branding of you being an actual investor, because the second you meet a realtor or a seller or a wholesaler, anyone, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go check you out online. And if you look serious, they'll take you seriously. So everything about you needs to say you are an investor, okay? So you're going to use your social media platforms after you've done the branding to send out messages out there. Hey, I'm looking for deals. If you have deals off-market deals, if you have off-market deals, why don't you send them my way, right? You can go on all the different real estate groups, say, hey guys, we're looking for deals. I'm willing to pay cash. And you're going to think, hold on a second, wait a minute, I don't have the cash. It really doesn't matter. Just what you're doing right there is you're attracting. If you found a really good deal, you figure out how to, get the cash if it was a really good deal. And so you want to attract these sellers to you. You want to go into these communities, these groups, right? And connect with other investors that have properties. And then you drop those magic words. Hey, if you're ever in a position where you want to unload your portfolio, give me a call, right? Send me an email. Let's connect. And so what what's going to happen is you're going to start building up a seller's list. So all of this work, right, is going to create deal flow, but the objective is to start building up your seller's list. These are lists of people that have properties that they don't know they want to sell yet. But there's going to come a time. There's going to come a time, the 4 Ds. Okay? The 4 Ds. 4 Ds, death, divorce, disaster, disease. Those are the 4 Ds. When something happens in someone's life, they become extremely motivated, and this is what you're looking for. You're looking for motivated sellers. They may not be motivated at that time, but if you do the work in making the connections with other sellers and you push it to Zoom calls where people can understand exactly what you're looking for, exactly what your criteria is, you start building out your list of sellers. And maybe you send newsletters to your sellers and say, hey, have you thought of selling, right? And then you can have a list where it says, this guy has this amount of doors, triplexes, at some point, someone is going to want to sell, right? So don't be limited to just the realtor.ca. Look at all the different people in the industry. To build up my sellers list, I'm going to go to people, I'm going to look at lawyers, right? Mortgage brokers, but basically anybody in the industry, accountants, you're going to connect with these industry professionals and say, listen, if you know anyone that wants to sell privately or is looking to unload their deals, send them my way. Make that connection. And maybe you might, if you're just meeting people, say, you know what? In your social media platforms, say, I'll give $1,000. You can put it, once you build a really good, presence on social media, you can say, I'm going to give $1,000 to someone that brings me a deal that I can close on. And so what's going to happen? You have multiple people out there, right? Looking for deals, talking to their grandmother, talking to their sister, their brother, and then what you're going to do is actually create really strong deal flow where every day there's something hitting your inbox. And that's how I want you guys to find deals. Now, I want to jump on the share. I want to share the kind of looking at deals in realtor.ca. I want to stop this video here.